What's up, guys? This is Jakob. I'm content AI manager, and I'm helping small and medium enterprises with AI technology to produce more content. Welcome to a new episode of the Content AI Show, where I speak with CEOs, founders, investors who are in the AI niche. And I'm very excited to speak today with Vikram Chalana. Welcome to the show, Vikram. How are you doing?
Great, thank you, Jakob. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Yep.
You're the perfect fit because I always like to speak with people who are in the software business, who are who are creating AI tools that help me to create better content. And you're the CEO of Pictory that I'm also using. So that's very cool, and I'm very excited to speak today about your vision for your own company. Very excited. So before we jump into the space of AI, can you shortly introduce yourself? So who are you and what are you doing?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Jacob, thank you for being a customer of Pictory. So
You're welcome.
yeah,
It's a great product.
yeah, and it was born. Pictory was born out of my own challenges. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my third business, and in my last company, we grew that to about 300 people. And one of the biggest challenges that I found personally, was content. I was good at producing content, written content, and even webinars. But whenever somebody asked me to edit the webinar or to produce a video, I would just like fail miserably. I didn't even know where to start. So you had to count on your designers. You had to count on either outsourced teams or in-house teams who were really busy. So I found that as a challenge. So when I was exiting my previous company, I was like, there has to be a better way. There has to be AI that helps non-videographers like me create videos. And that's the journey we started ourselves on about 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago. We started the journey, and and today we have thousands of happy customers like yourself using our product every day. And I'm an engineer by training, but I think of myself as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. So I'm already deep into Pictory. So can you shortly describe what, for somebody who never heard about this tool? So what is Pictory and what can you do with it?
Yeah, so very simply, it helps you make videos very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And you either can start with a piece of text and create a video from that. So there's a bunch of AI magic that it uses to create videos from text. Or you can start with a recorded video like this podcast or a webinar, and it'll help you edit that and also create little clips that you can post on social media. So the whole goal is repurposing your existing content. You may have text content or recorded video content, and you can repurpose it into short videos that you can post on social. Many of our customers actually post the videos they edit on YouTube, and they use it that way.
Yeah. And there's this thing called highlighting, right? So the really cool thing is, I, for example, upload a video like this and I have the transcript. I can, so the spoken word, and I can highlight parts of the video and create the snippets. So in the old days, it was much more work for me to create these snippets. And with Pictory, it's much easier. That's a cool thing, in my opinion, also, that I save time to produce these snippets. That's really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, in the old days, the snippets, you had to think of timestamps. So you would
Yeah.
have to say, okay, I said something interesting starting at 2 minutes 25 seconds, and then it went on until 3 minutes 14 seconds, and then you
Exactly.
tell somebody who's editing your videos, you have to give them those timestamps, and they inevitably got it wrong, and then there was like a iteration or two before they got it right, and now with Pictory, you don't have to think of it in timestamps. You just think of it in terms of transcript, and you just pick the sentences that you like in your transcript, and you just go from there.
Yeah. Where exactly, just to understand, where exactly is the AI part when it comes to Pictory? Where can I see the magic happen?
So there is actually many different AI components. So in the video editing scenario that we just talked about, the webinar highlighting scenario, there is the AI first in converting the video into text. So that's speech to text or transcription
Mhm.
AI. That's one part that is used. There is a function that I don't know if you have used, which will automatically pick out a set of highlights for you.
Mhm.
So that's also AI, which will basically say, okay, here's my webinar. Let me create a 10% highlight reel of this webinar. And so there's AI at work there. There's AI at work when you start from text to video.
Yeah.
That was the other use case that we talked about. You can take the text. It uses AI to summarize the text first. Then for every summary sentence, it uses AI to pick out a right visual from a big stock of visual library that we have,
Yes.
videos and images. So there's the second piece of AI there. Then there's another piece of AI which narrates the video, the text in the form of speech that gets attached to the video. So there's another piece of AI there, and there's one other piece of AI which is very interesting, which we still kind of trying to tell the world about. It automatically picks a piece of music that goes with the video, and there what it's doing is it's trying to determine the mood of your write up of your article,
Mhm.
and then it matches the mood to the mood of the music theme that it automatically picks out. So
And I own the rights for the music also. I
yes,
can
yes,
so I can.
all the stock content in there, including music and video clips and images, you own. You can commercialize it. You can monetize it.
Cool. So I have to try it. I have to test that one. That's cool. So when just one step back, when I mean I use also AI tools for text production, for example. And when it comes to text production, the basic technology behind this is GPT-3, so the OpenAI system. When it comes to video, what is the back end, so to say? So we don't want to be too technical, but some. So does the AI come from, or where does the AI know what kind of music to use?
Yeah, so it's a combination of proprietary technology and some off-the-shelf tools that we use. So
Okay.
we don't use GPT-3, for example. It's on our roadmap, but we have a lot of other natural language processing
Okay.
libraries that we use. We use, uh, for example, Google and Amazon have transcription services, so we use one of their transcription services. We use the text-to-speech from commercial sources. So there's some parts that we built, all the summarization engines that we built using
Yeah.
NLP engines, and then others we're using off the shelf.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So, I, I'm like I said, I'm not an affiliate or something. I'm just a big fan, and it's really cool to speak with you today and get all these details. That's awesome. So maybe just one step to the past. So one thing that I'm always curious about, and something that I'm asking, what is one of your the first moments when your first memory when it comes to AI? What was it? Was it a movie or just an article that you read? What was it?
Actually, I would have been cool. I didn't read sci-fi growing up, so I didn't get exposed to sci-fi literature back then. But my first experience with AI was there was a team at my lab. So I went to University of Washington here in
Yes.
Seattle, and in my grad school there was a team in my lab, and they were working on a problem with the potato farmers here in Idaho.
Hmm.
They were trying to sort potatoes because the
Okay.
manual sorting process was very painful and very human dependent. So so they had approached University of Washington to come up with a camera based system, and this was like 30 years ago almost. A camera based system where the potato would go under the camera, and the team would scan it and then automatically measure the size of the potato and the shape of the potato, and then sort it. It would give a classification, whether it's a class A potato, or this is going to go into the French fries, or this is going to go into the supermarket shelves. That was my first exposure, and I was thrilled. And the way they had built the system was, they had a little voice that they had recorded. When it was a good potato, it would give you a message: you have a good potato, or you have a horrible potato. This
Okay.
belongs in McDonald's French fries, something like that. It was a lot of fun just looking at that, and I dreamed about all kinds of systems that you could build like that, computer vision based systems.
And this was already 30 years ago?
Yes, exactly. Yes, in the early '90s, they
Okay.
was working on this stuff. It wasn't in production. This was still in
Mhm.
R&D, but still, like, people were thinking about this.
Yeah. So, yeah, when you compare it to with today technology, it's like day and
Oh,
night, right?
day and night. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we used to do image processing, and I would say 30-40 years of image processing research is now wasted, because we're using all this cool deep learning stuff that automatically detects the feature. Because a lot of the work that we did in image processing was feature extraction. Can you extract this edge? Can you extract this? Can you do this? And now nobody needs to do that anymore, because the deep learning network automatically figures out what feature is important, why it needs to do this. And so it's become it's completely day and night, and literally, like, 40 years of research is gone, wasted.
Yeah, that sometimes happens. But
Yeah,
yeah, you have to be optimistic about the future.
absolutely. Yeah.
Uh, and okay, this was one of the first memories, but was there one shifting moment when you said, okay, I have to figure this whole thing with AI. I have to, I mean, you said the point of the content, that you had struggled with content, video content, but
Yeah.
was there even before a moment where you said, okay, I have to focus more on AI?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I focused on AI pretty much all my life, since, I mean, that potato story that I told you about, that inspired me to get into. I was doing medical imaging, and I was doing AI on medical imaging. We used to call it pattern recognition back then,
Mhm.
detecting cancers locations in CT scans, making measurements uh, of heart sizes in ultrasound images. So I've been working on those kind of problems
Mhm.
since the last 30 years. So it's been one interesting story after the other, one AI story after another, on
Okay.
problems that I worked on, and it's been great. I mean, it's been great to see all the progress. And it used to take us weeks to train a simple neural network, which now can train in like seconds on my laptop.
Yeah, and it's becoming easier, right? That's a
Becoming
cool
easier.
thing.
There's so much code available, and I like the key thing I remember is, if you were stuck in a problem, so you were trying to solve this problem of cancer detection, and you were not getting the right results. So you were like completely baffled. Is it my code that has a bug in it? Is it the model that I'm picking that is
Yes.
incorrect? Or is it the data that has some problem in it? It's completely like those three problems are fully merged together. And now you don't have to think of code, because code is like, there's so much code that people have tested and tried, and it's available. So you don't, and then models, you can try like 20 different models that are available in single libraries. So that problem is gone. So now it's all about data, just making sure your data is right and it's fitting the thing. And you can try pre-tested code, pre-tested models on your data.
Yeah. When it comes to data, I mean, I understand the concept and I know the idea, but I always struggle with how do I mean, how do I mean, I'm collecting data all the time, but I don't know how to structure it, how to organize it. Do you have the system where you know, okay, this is the way how I should it automatically, or do you have these routines or systems?
Yeah, so like in the software, of course, we have databases, which is all where all of it's organized. So your when you upload your videos into Pictory, uh, they're stored in our database. Your transcripts will be in our database. Now we won't know who it is; it's completely anonymized.
Yeah.
Uh, but we do have so we do store that. There is an organizational system in place, a whole database schema in place, and then that's what we use for future training and improving the algorithms.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Now, when when it comes to Pictory, what is the mid long term vision for Pictory? I mean, you said 2.5 years now since the starting point, and I don't know how you started, and from within 2.5 years how the whole thing evolved. But what are the mid or long term goals for Pictory?
Yeah. So basically, just to kind of uh, rewind back to the starting of the company.
Yeah.
So we
Sure.
started kind of fall, autumn of 2019. We had, and actually, that was another interesting story. We actually participated in a hackathon in Seattle.
Ah, interesting.
We were working on this. This was the thought in our brain that, hey, there's something that we could do here with AI.
Yeah.
So I pitched this idea at a hackathon. A team came together who built this, and they built the initial prototype. I called every marketer I know saying, if you had a tool like this, would you use it? So I was doing my market validation. The team did the technology validation, and and we had enough conviction coming out of that hackathon saying, hey, this is something we need to pursue. So then we built a team. That same team, they were working on jobs. There were students. They didn't want to participate in this, so we built a separate team on this. And for about a year, we built the product out. So it took us a year to kind of build the product. So in fall of 2020, we launched the product in the market first time. And then, of course, the first launch is never the one that is successful. You have to constantly iterate. So
Yes.
we iterated multiple times. And, uh, and then in 2021, fall is when we hit the what we call the product market fit, basically, where we grew from 50 customers to 6,000 customers in 1 quarter. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and so then we just announced we raised our first seed round from a venture capital firm here in Seattle last week, and uh, and so now the path is just shoot for the moon. Initially, it's
Yes.
yeah, initially, like there's a lot of AI that we need to improve. The product needs a lot more work and a lot more usability, as you know. I mean, you've used it. You could probably you found some of the pitfalls and some of the improvements that you could make, and and uh, and our customers are super engaged. They have like we have this public roadmap. They've given a people vote on these items, and so we have like several months of maybe more than a year of work given from the customers and the public
Mhm.
roadmap. Um, and so continue to improve the product, continue to improve the AI, continue to add new functionality in the product. We'll focus for this year. We're focused on the creator economy, this the market that we're targeting right now, which is like you are a, a great part of that creative economy, and then we go after corporates, businesses, and because I think creators are everywhere. Creators are sitting in marketing departments and training departments of every company in the world. So we see a very huge market potential here. We could easily see $100 million company in the next few years, and that's what we're working towards.
Based on the US, or is the target audience all around the world, or do you have some specifics?
Yeah, no, the target audience is global right now.
Okay.
Although language is largely English in the product, so eventually we'll add other languages, and
Mhm.
we have like roadmap items to add translations in the product, video translations. So there's all kinds of interesting things that we can do, and um, Yeah, it'll be everywhere. Even today, our customers are everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, the creator, everybody needs content,
Yeah.
especially more and more video content. So I think this is a huge market, and it will. I mean, this is this. You do you have an affiliate? This is not something that I checked yet, but affiliate
We,
program.
we do have an affiliate program
Okay.
on our website. If you have a following like you do, you could sign up for it, become an affiliate, and we'd love to. In fact, I mean that's our biggest sales channel right now. Most of our sales are coming through affiliate partners. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
makes sense. Okay, cool. Can we speak a little bit about the team? So, how big is it, and what kind of people do you have in your team? Where are they located? I mean, you're in Seattle, right?
Yeah, I'm in Seattle. So a few of us are in Seattle. We have about a dozen people on the team, so it's a pretty small team right now. But yeah, a few of us are in Seattle, but most of the team, the rest of the team is in India. We have one person, our new head of growth. He's located in London. So we're a small multinational organization. What else? That's the right, which is true of every company these days.
Yeah, but especially for AI companies, this is my experience. So I'm speaking with a lot of AI companies, and they are not that big. Just, I mean, you need developer, you need somebody who's really deep into coding, and somebody who's marketing, and then C-level CEO. That's it, basically, oftentimes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these days you can have really small teams do very good things, and I feel like I we had 100-person engineering team at my previous organization that I built, the startup that I built, and I feel like I get more value from my 6 developers than I got sometimes from the 100 developers that we had there. So these days technology has gotten really good. The tools, the frameworks have gotten really good, and then depends on who you hire. We use this concept called 10x developers. So
Cool.
this is one developer who is so good that they're worth 10 developers. So
Okay, how do you find that?
it's very hard. It's very hard, and you don't know that upfront. So these are people that we worked with before. We have a hand-picked team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds. I'm asking because today I had another interview with an expert on recruiting
Yeah.
from Germany, and we also spoke about these topics. That's the reason why I'm asking. Okay,
Yeah.
because hiring is really the magic when it comes to
Hiring is
AI.
there is no formula for it, and there is really no secret sauce other than I know
Luck.
somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's really good.
Okay, that's how it works. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for the lesson. It's cool. So when it comes to AI, I mean, there are a lot of discussions, and there will be more discussions. I'm very sure in this year and the coming years. So, what is, in your opinion, a big misunderstanding that is in the media or that you hear all the time related to AI that you would love to tackle? What is there something?
I still feel that. So I call it misunderstanding, but it's also the reality check. I think people feel that they're all going to be out of jobs very soon, and I think that's a big misunderstanding around AI. Because I've been watching uh, or self-driving cars, right? I have a Tesla. I drive a Tesla here, and I've seen the evolution. It's great. The self-driving technology in there is awesome, and but when it started, like even 3-4 years ago, they were predicting by 2025 Uber will be gone. They won't need any. You won't need any drivers. You don't. And I don't see that. I don't
Mhm.
see that happening. I don't know. You in Germany it might be different, but I don't see that in the US. I don't see like I'll see some self-driving cars, like people sitting without hands on the wheels, but they're still sitting and paying attention to the road. So So I think there is a lot of hype that has taken place around AI, and how soon it's going to eliminate jobs, and I don't see that. I mean, there are obviously things happening, right? I mean, grocery stores are fully automated. We have the Amazon stores here, that Amazon Go stores, where you just pick out stuff from the shelf and just walk out, and it'll completely automate your billing, and you'll know exactly. So that kind of stuff, it eliminates the need for a grocery store checker. But in the US right now, hiring a grocery store checker is so hard. There's a labor shortage, and so, I mean, in some ways it's a good thing, but it hasn't eliminated the tens of millions of other jobs that are out there. So I feel there's a hype, and I feel there's a fear that are both a little overstated.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what I give always my example. I mean, I'm using AI tools, and I'm always saying I'm not a content manager. I'm a content AI manager, because I said to myself, I'm using all these AI tools. It's just honest, and it's proactive communication when I add this to my job title, because it makes my life easier and my job easier when I use these tools.
That's
And
it.
at the end of the day, they are tools, and there will be maybe in 20 years some AI which will be much more smart. But over the time, I will also evolve and acquire new skills and learn new things and do
Exactly.
other things. And so I share this opinion and this idea. It's at the end of the day, it's a tool, and it is here for enriching our lives. That's my main the main motivation, and that's also the reason why I started this show, by the way, just to make sure that people get this message. Okay, awesome that you shared it, and we are on a common base. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Uh, that's cool. But when it comes to trends, what do you see when it doesn't have to be content AI, so video content AI? It can be an AI also in a broader sense. What trends do you see?
I mean, I think that's the things that we are seeing, we have been seeing, will continue to see evolving faster and faster. Um, the the thing that I used to do 25 years ago about around medical imaging has now become so commonplace. You'll see a lot more diagnostic tools, healthcare related AI stuff that somehow the pandemic has opened the markets a little bit more to innovation. The healthcare market was a little closed, but I see, and as you mentioned, I see the use of AI in helping things move forward. So it won't replace radiologists, but it would
Yes.
aid radiologists, and it would help them find places that they might have overlooked in the past. So I think, like, yeah, human assisted AI is totally what I see in the future. Even the self driving cars, the content stuff that you and I do, all that will get better and better and better, and more and more. Will save more and more time on mundane things. Like, really, some of the things that AI helps you tackle are mundane things that none of us want to do in real life. And so it'll take some of the mundane things away. Like, who we there were teams and teams of people who were employed as transcriptionists in the past. They would listen to your audio and type it up. And these days, I mean, I'm sure there are some transcriptionists still to correct the things, but AI has taken that part over. And yes, it may have eliminated some jobs in the process, but those jobs would have been really boring, I would think.
Yeah, boring and also not very creative.
Not
And
creative, but very, yeah, error prone. That's the other big thing, right? It's just like you're gonna constantly make errors once you tune out.
yes, yes, definitely. You said something very interesting. The healthcare market was closed. You mean in the US or in general?
Yeah, in the US, there were several things that the pandemic just opened up. As an example, telemedicine.
Hmm.
Telemedicine there was a lot of resistance to that, and that opened up in the last 2 years. So a lot more telemedicine. Patients are more open to visiting doctors remotely, and hospitals are more open. And then you can imagine AI coming into that automatic diagnosis, or at least again assisted diagnosis, where you can imagine, your ECG, you have a remote ECG or a remote stethoscope
Yeah,
that you send your signal to your doctor, and it has automatically done some analysis before it presents the information to the doctor.
yeah. So it was because of regulations. So from government, was it closed? So is that right?
Yeah, yeah. It's regulation, it's insurance barriers, it's payment barriers.
Okay.
There's a bunch of reasons. We can talk about healthcare in another show completely.
Okay. Maybe yeah. We continue this in another deep dive. Okay, cool. That's good because I mean healthcare is in Germany also a very big topic, and yeah, it would be interesting to compare maybe Germany and US. But yeah, cool. Like it. So we spoke about the trends. I had so what kind of tools, AI tools, are you using in your daily business? So other than Pictory, maybe are there other tools that you use for being more productive, being more efficient? Because I'm always checking new tools.
I think there are some things that are so embedded, we use them every day without even knowing. um,
Exactly.
like when Siri reminds me that I should leave for my meeting, because it's going to take me 20 minutes to drive. I mean, that's AI at work, and it's something we use without, and that's the magic. That's the magic technology, where you use something without even knowing that you're using it. I mean,
Yeah.
we use Google Maps all the time. There's all kinds of AI built into that
Yes.
that Google Maps. Facebook feeds are all AI, what it shows me, what it doesn't show me. So I think there are things that we use, we don't even know about them,
Yeah.
that they're AI, they're magic.
Yeah, last week I gave this presentation in an online keynote in for a university, and then I used a graph where we AI tools that we are already using, and these are the mentioned things from you. They are also included, and oftentimes we just don't know that they already are using because they are not communicating it in a proactive way. So
Yeah,
other businesses, for example, Mailchimp, many customers, many clients from me, they used Mailchimp and they didn't know that Mailchimp is also using AI technology, for example, to acknowledge when should be the best timing for sending the email, for example, things like that, based on the opening rates from the past.
yeah,
And this is an easy AI tool,
yeah,
and many didn't know it. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Website monitoring, traffic
yeah,
monitoring, ads, Google ads. I mean, there's AI everywhere. What ad should I show you next?
uh,
Um,
uh, exactly. Cool. So if you had all the resources, so time and money uh, of the world, what AI product would you create? But not Pictories, so something else, something new. Just go crazy. What would it be?
I was gonna say something in healthcare, but I kind of know why it's so hard. The healthcare is so hard because of uh, the regulatory reasons. But I would have to say it would be something related to education and learning, and the reason, like in the last 2 years, we've seen just education has gone fully remote. Everybody's embraced e-learning, but it's also hard for the kids. It's really hard
Yes.
for kids, teachers. It's hard. Online learning now. I was just talking to my brother. Their school closed again for 2 weeks now because of
Mm.
Omicron, and they're all going remote. And I was like, poor kids, poor parents, poor teachers. I gotta build something to help them. Some kind of AI to engage the teachers, help their lives, help the students, help their lives, help the teachers, something around there. I don't know what it is, but it would be some
Mhm.
to solve that problem, education
Mhm.
problem. And I mean, and this is like we're talking about rich economies. I mean, the same thing is happening in the poor economies in India, for example, where it's, schools have been closed, impacted for 2 years. I mean, these kids, their lives are going to be set back for 2 years. There's so many kids who haven't gone to school and I mean, this is going to impact their livelihoods, their lifetime earnings. It's like, yeah, it's going to be really bad. So this is like, if there is some way we can enable remote learning in rural communities in Africa or India, and just make that better somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Do you have kids?
My kids are grown. They're
Okay.
yeah, in their 20s. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, really enjoyed the conversation with you. So already my last question, who can you recommend for this show? So somebody who is in this niche like you, maybe also a founder, could be also CEO or an investor within this space, could be content AI, but could be also AI, only AI.
Uh, you said you're in Berlin, right? I have a great person I know in Berlin. His name is Thorsten Lenz, and he runs a company called Innovare AI, and they help people they help businesses like us with sales and marketing tools, and fully AI enabled sales and marketing tools. Um,
Cool.
yeah, I think, I mean, somebody like him would be a great addition to your show. So I
Yeah,
can make an introduction if you want.
that would be cool. Would appreciate it. Would be cool. Yes.
Awesome.
So I'm in Hamburg, but Berlin is not that far. So everything
Oh,
good.
okay, sorry. Yeah.
Everything fine. Yeah. Cool. Thorsten Lenz. Yeah. Sounds very German, the name. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Anything else that you want to share with the community? So anything, last statement about AI or the wishes for the coming years? Or yeah, if
I
something
think,
that you want to
yeah,
share. Yeah.
this creator economy is changing the game a lot, and so many people are now making a living as creators, and so many people are aspiring to make a living as creators and share their passions, and I salute and respect all the entrepreneurs and the budding entrepreneurs in the world, and I think Pictory can help all of you.
Yes.
So that's it. That was my closing statement.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jakub? It was a pleasure talking with you. Are you seeing any comments, live comments, questions?
So there was one thing. Thomas Philipp Reiter wrote, AI is magic, but how do you assure the high quality of a specific intellectual standard? You will always need an intelligent human being to edit and approve the AI results, right?
Yes, Thomas, that's exactly what we were talking about. I mean, this is the computer assisted, whatever, diagnosis, content creation. I think we cannot rely on AI completely. Even my self-driving car, I would rather assist it and make sure I correct the errors.
Yes. Okay. So the connection was a little bit slow. Okay, I think we are right back. Can you hear me,
Yep.
Vikram? Okay. Okay, thank you. The connection is a little bit slow. Um, I think you answered the question. So other than that, thank you very much for your time. I will definitely put the link into the comment section under this video so that people can find more